here we are again with the conclusion of the 3 Air Force kilts were brought to us for resurrection. I'll start with the one that, again, I really believe was dumped into a washing machine and then the dryer, because we see all of this shrinking and puckering across the felt, and the pleats were like nothing I'd ever seen before, which is remarkable because I've seen some pretty terrible work. So we, as you see, we basted each one of the pleats to bring them into the proper line. We also basted across 3 times. Usually you only need twice, about halfway down and right at the bottom, but we went for 3 this time. And we gave it a couple of really good presses. I took a close look at it afterwards and I realized that maybe this is the reason why this thing's thrown in the washing machine, because you can just see a faint stain there. And I am going to do another video on what to do in this matter, but I was afraid to address this because I don't know what caused this, and I also don't know what's been done to it subsequently, because if it's had heat on it, if it's had an iron on it, there's possibly a chemical change which is going to make it exponentially harder to remove. Now, there are such proprietary stuff as these stain treatments, and but I was reluctant to use it. I didn't use it because I didn't know what effect it might have on this particular wool with the treatment, what the ordeal it's already been through. Were I to give this a shot, well, I'd have to get the customer's permission first while explaining the possible complications might result of this, and then do it in an out-of-the-way area and see how it reacted. But I just decided, no, maybe further discussion, we'll try to do something. But it's not tremendously visible, and with the sporin, perhaps it'll be less visible yet. So we've taken care of the pleats. We haven't solved this puckering across the back, but maybe when the kilt's worn and it's under tension, it'll be less evident. Top of that, you're going to be wearing a service dress jacket. We've reattached the straps because they weren't sewn on well at all. We've also moved the buckles back, as I said, because they were far too forward, and that's the error of the person who made it to begin with. And again, I'm hoping that a really tall cadet will come along so that we can unpick this hem that they've put in and press it out. Yeah, and we've also, there's numerous little moth holes. There's some moth damage there and there and there and here. And what we've done is we've done an overcast, like a blanket stitch with fine silk thread, just to stabilize it. It's on the inner apron, so we just stabilized it. If it was on the outer apron, we could possibly spend quite a bit of time trying to effect not an invisible repair, but as close to an invisible mend as we can manage. The problem with those is the ones where they literally weave in a piece of cloth, it looks great, but it's not particularly robust. If it gets a lot of abuse or tugging or anything else, it can go to pieces. So that was the worst one. The other 2 weren't quite so bad. This one does have a moth on the front apron, but again, we stabilized that, and it's going to be covered by the sporin. We only had to correct a couple of pleats, and again, the normal 2 bastes that we did, and gave it a press, so it turned out pretty well. Again, buckle moved back, strap reattached. I think the lining had come adrift in a few places. We reattached that as well. Quick rolling it up. And for you cadets watching this, this is how you take care of your kilt. Please, 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 if you get it dirty in the future, don't let your mom throw it in the wash, or your dad, or whoever. Don't go to a dry cleaner. Contact us and we'll sort it out. And this is the best of the 3, quite frankly. It only needed a strap and the buckle moved and a courtesy press, because the pleats were okay. We just sharpened them up a bit. So there we go. 3 kilts. Okay, there's just a little thread poking out there that I spotted. We're not going to let that be seen, are we? Okay, there we go. So 3 kilts refurbished and ready to return to stores. Thank you.